so many different worlds around you, so many different beings around you, whether you are in close proximity or not, that have their own vision. Everybody has their own vision, their own desires, their own motives, their own perceptions, oftentimes based off another person's perception. I'm just another point of view for you to observe. Do not allow what I say, what anybody says, to deter you away from that which you wish to experience in your life. If you feel resonance, then listen. But too often did I have to learn, in order to grow out of this, that not everybody has my best interest in mind. It is okay to show up for people. It is okay to help, to be of service. But you have to be able to discern when this is hurting you, when there is a certain level of inconsideration. And only you can define what that is, where in which that might take place. You have to stay in alignment with your vision, with your intention, with what you are seeing. If you don't spend any time getting clear on what that might be, then how will you know? You will be subject to all of these other ideas, all these other visions. I'm an advocate for having your autonomy, for knowing within yourself, to know, to see within yourself what it is that you are creating for yourself, so that you can lead yourself. When you do not protect yourself, or when you do not take care of yourself, really is what it is. When you do not think for yourself, then you will be, in a sense, controlled. To operate from this dynamic of the system is controlling me, I'm powerless, is to fail to recognize that not only are you allowing a quote-unquote system to quote-unquote control you, you're in a state of being where you're allowing other people who think this way also control you based off of their motives and their intentions. So now you have a pool of people who are just unaware of what they want, of what they're creating, while they create distaste and anger, frustration, entrapment into a particular system. You can be a part of something, but in order to break free from it, you have to overcome your environment. So what does that look like? Well, I will share a story with you. I have been in situations that I was not happy to be in, that from the outside looking in, you would say, man, that's hopeless. But instead of allowing myself to focus my energy on how the world is out to get me, or focus my energy on how terrible of a person I am, or how incompetent I am, I redirected my energy to that which I knew was going to help. How did I know it was going to help? That's when I actually set an intention for myself. Well, I intend to make a change for myself, and I want it to look like this. And from that position of knowing exactly what it was that I wanted for myself was where I actually went forth and sought out guidance. And this process will repeat itself in cycles until perhaps one day maybe you don't seek that. But you will always have an opportunity to learn something in this life. It is never too late to learn something new. Just be sure that you spend some time inquiring with yourself. Spend quality time with yourself so that you can understand yourself. I had to overcome my environment that was reflective of my state of being. I had to overcome myself and the state of being that I was in. I had to let go. I had to shed that skin. So the way that I went about it was I would go and first thing in the morning when I would wake up, I would align to the information, the guidance that I received as a result of inquiring about what it was that I wanted for myself, what I saw for myself. And as I applied that knowledge, as I did the meditations, as I practiced Qigong, as I ate the good food, as I learned how to consume the different variations in which you can receive and give.
I made a bouquet for the most beautiful woman I've met on this walk.
All of these things started to shift around. That doesn't mean that it was easy. That doesn't mean that I wasn't presented with choices wherein which I very much had the option to opt out and to go for that thing that was pleasurable, that was easy, that was familiar. I had that option, but I chose to let that go. I chose to rise above my environment, rise above myself. It didn't matter what was going on around me. It didn't matter what I felt was easy or what I wanted based off of that old version of myself or that version of myself that I obviously wasn't proud of. It didn't matter. I rose above that and I chose wisely. I chose to listen to those who knew better than me, and I did so joyfully, gratefully, confidently. And the results were amazing. So you yourself have options, and you're always going to have the choice to do that thing that leaves you in a victim state of being, that victim mentality. Or you have the option to leave you in that state where you feel powerless or you feel like you don't really care. You're apathetic. And that's okay. You can be where you're at. This doesn't necessarily have to resonate with you. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with everybody else. It is actually your responsibility to take time to understand yourself, because your unique frequency, your unique vision could very well serve and supplement and complement the vision of another in a very amazing and necessary way. You never know what blessings may arise when you focus on yourself, when you align to yourself, when you rise above, when you choose to attune to that pleasure that comes from doing what might seem very painful, what might be unfamiliar to you, what might be less instantly gratifying. That pain that comes from that is where that pleasure really comes from, that true pleasure. I would climb this mountain every day 5 a.m., I would be at the top of this mountain. Giant Buddha head, just synchronistically there. And I would practice my Qigong every day in that season, in that chapter of my life. And I would stay there till the sun was all the way risen. And then in the evening, I would go up it again. And sometimes I wouldn't come down till it was 10 o'clock, 11 at night. And when I would come down, I would feel the vibrations and I would realize I didn't do anything in particular. Really, all I did was climb up a mountain and breathe in and out and in and out and in and out and move my arms. That's all I did. But it made me feel like I understood what true pleasure, what true fulfillment was. I couldn't even imagine not being aware of how sensational, how precious life is, how much time slows down when you get into the state of being, right? You get to experience time in a different way. You get to experience space in a different way. You get to understand yourself in different ways. So you choose what feels good. Explore what feels good in those realms where maybe it's uncomfortable or unfamiliar. Go to the gym, you do a workout, you do a meditation. Yeah, it's a little uncomfortable. It doesn't feel right. If you've constantly attuned to yourself to those things that are more instantly gratifying, like scrolling, substances, unhealthy attachments. But when you approach those things that are uncomfortable in a state of curiosity, in a state of just feeling it out and seeing what feels good for you. You don't have to go to the gym and use all the weights on the rack. You can go to the gym and choreograph a whole dance and then do some sort of different kind of exercise that involves a different kind of weight. You can explore things online and see what resonates, see what feels good. You can do all kinds of things. You can go swim. You can go take a really long walk. Explore these things. So much tension and doubt and fear arises when you think about things negatively, or when you've convinced yourself out of doing that thing that you know is going to give you that pleasure that you seek, that true pleasure. There's two different kinds. So I encourage you to just drop the weights that have accumulated in the mind in regards to overcoming your environment, to rising above it, to elevating your perspective about doing the things, or shifting the mind set surrounding these really healthy practices. It's understandable why you may find yourself in a position so as to be resistant or angry or apathetic. This is where the fruits are. This is where the seeds are. This is where the gold is. And look in the descriptions. You can start there. And from there, just go crazy. Go on a little Easter egg hunt. All my content has little, if you follow me for real, you'll see that there's little Easter eggs. So I appreciate you. And I'm wishing you a good time. It doesn't have to be this long, arduous journey of despair. You can actually enjoy yourself. Even if you're going through it, you can enjoy yourself. You can shift your mind like, wow, I'm going through this, but I got this. I'm strong. Wow.
this is really hard, but there's nothing that I can't do.